Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So this video is actually going to be about my previous video, and I'm doing a lemon mukbang. Ooh, pleasure in the pain. Now, yesterday I did a video where I said I had a new health problem, and I didn't really want to talk about what it was. There's just some times where I feel like more vulnerable and like I don't want to talk about certain personal things. It's not that I'm trying to like clickbait you guys, because I did have a new health issue, but I didn't really just want to talk about it. It's not something like, it's something that could potentially be serious, but it's not like right now super serious, as long as I really start taking care of myself. So, and this is the thing, like it's just like, I feel like just health-wise, everything is just crumbling down.
Don't act so surprised. You've been completely ignoring your diabetes ever since you were diagnosed. What did you think was gonna happen?
And I'm not coming on here, to ask for sympathy. I'm just here to share my personal experiences in life, good and bad, and regardless of the reception of them, basically. There's quite a few new people that are watching me now. I see a lot of comments, I'm new here. So in case actually a lot of my videos are privated, my old ones, so you can't really go back and see like the health journey from the beginning in a lot of ways. So basically, I'll just give you like a recap of my health issues, and then I'll explain what's wrong with me now. So I'll just start with like obesity related illnesses. I don't want to get into like my whole health history, but currently the illnesses I have that are related to my morbid obesity. I have sleep apnea, which I've had for years now. I don't even know how many years. I would have to think, and my brain's not braining. So had the whole sleep study done, which is horrible, by the way. I don't know, like when I'm forced to sleep at a certain time, it just doesn't work for me. How I knew I had sleep apnea, I get asked that a lot, was actually my mother noticed. I went to a cabin. My family, my grandfather like rented a cabin when he came down from Florida, and the whole family stayed there. This was years ago, maybe in 2018, 2017, 2018. I was always tired because I wasn't getting good sleep, and I would wake up. One indicator was I would wake up with pounding headaches. I would wake up in the night just like choking, and I wouldn't know why. And then one time I fell asleep on the sofa, like sitting up, even with my mom was there, and she's like, cutie, you're like, you need to get like sleep apnea assessment, because you're like keep waking up and like gasping for air. Until I had my sleep study, I would sleep like propped up on the couch in my apartment.
Gaul, can you wrap it up already? She's really stalling, isn't she? This all just feels like an attempt to garner sympathy after the agoraphobia backlash.
So finally, when I had my CPAP machine, it was like, it was like a relief, I could sleep well, and I've had it since. So I have sleep apnea, and if you don't get that rectified, it's very dangerous. It increases your blood pressure, and yeah, it's not, you have to get it treated eventually, because it can lead to like heart problems and sometimes death.
Yet she refuses to tackle her weight. This is coming from the overweight diabetic woman who doesn't want to use Ozempic because she couldn't binge on it.
Then a few years ago, I also had pulmonary embolisms, which I've had twice. The first time I just noticed a lot of chest pain, and like that went into my back and like in the lung area. And I was like so short of breath, more than usual. I couldn't even, and I just like, couldn't do anything without, like walking a few steps, I would be so out of breath, and more than usual. So I went to the hospital, and they did a blood test and found, like, it's called a D-dimer test, and they found that I did have blood clots. They did a CT scan, and they found I did have blood clots. I had some pulmonary embolism in my lung. So they put me on warfarin, Coumadin, which is, for people who are overweight, the most effective option. I had to get regular blood tests, INR tests, which were a pain until I bought my own machine. But before that, I had to go to the lab, like, I think it was like every I don't remember, every week maybe. And so I asked to be put on another medication. They put me on another medication at my request, and they did warn me about the potential issues, but they thought there would be a chance it would be okay, because there's a risk of, if you're put on a medication, like a certain like for people over a certain weight, mostly only Coumadin will work. So they put me on a different one where I wouldn't have to have the test done anymore. But the pulmonary embolism came back because it wasn't working. The medication wasn't working, so I went back on the Coumadin, which I'm not on anymore. I know a lot of people are going to think that's so dumb and risky, because they did like test in my legs to see like where the deep vein thrombosis, like to see if it was caused by a deep vein thrombosis, basically a blood clot in my legs or something. So they scanned my legs. It didn't originate from there. So they're not really sure where, but you are at a very high risk of developing blood clots if you are sedentary and if you are overweight. So that's another thing I had. I recently was diagnosed in 2023, diabetes. I've had really high blood sugar for a long time, so I've probably had the diabetes for a long time. So I have that, type 2. So yeah, those are currently the obesity related illnesses that I have. Some tests were done here in Kuwait. I saw a doctor. They threw like urinalysis, you know, they do a urinalysis panel and blood work, found a high level of protein in my urine. My kidneys, the beginning of having issues with my kidneys, which is common with people with type 2.
She screwed over her kidneys by ignoring her diabetes. Call it BBJ's karma.
I was told to drink a lot of water, especially with the medication for diabetes I was taking. And that brings me now to recently, I've noticed like a very high increase in urination, like just always needing to urinate, like maybe every half an hour. Literally, like just having to urinate. I would have like pain in my side, like in the kidney area, like in my back, and I was feeling like after, like at the end of when I would go to the washroom, it would like, I don't know how to explain, you know that uncomfortable feeling when you have like a UTI, and I just felt nauseous a lot, like sick to my stomach. So come to find out, I have a mild kidney infection. It's not like severe, so I'm on antibiotics for that now, and Slaw picked me up some cranberry like extract that helps with like this issue. I'm trying to drink a lot of water, and just you know, I'm so tired from this, so I really want to try to be super careful what I put into my body. You know, it's critical at this point. I don't want to have kidney damage. I know people who have had uncontrolled type 2, and they were on dialysis, and eventually, you know, the person I knew specifically is no longer with us, sadly. I don't know how much damage is already done to my kidneys, but I don't want to have like kidney failure. So I'm trying to repair whatever damage is done, and I'm gonna do whatever I have to do on my part to do that, even if it's suffering like through the discomfort of the change and the trying to take control of my eating disorder and, you know, food addiction and stuff like that.
She says that, but I guarantee she will continue to eat rice for 4 people and refuse to go to therapy.
Yeah, another kind of bleak video, but I hope that it will have a happy ending, not an abrupt one, and I can just like keep going and doing wonderful things in life. I don't think I've fully lived. I don't feel like I have, because I've done some really interesting, fun things in life, but I've always done them with a shadow hovering over. I have to follow up after the antibiotics are done with another urinalysis and blood test and see how the kidneys are doing, but inshallah this will help it. And you know, as long as I do my part and just pray. I always say that I feel like I have a lot of time, which is why I don't take myself seriously, and now I don't feel like I have a lot of time at all, so to deal with these issues. Things can go, when you have like diabetes like that and you start having chronic health issues because of it, things can go from bad to worsen like that. You know, I know a lot of people tried to warn me about that, and it's true, you know, it's true. It can get really bad. Thank you for listening. I'll see you guys later. Hope you're doing well, and yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.